But to this, the Gauteng government has now missed yet another deadline to decommission e-tolls. The system should have been scrapped already on New Year's Eve. However, it lives on in 2023. Now, the provincial government says this is because an agreement with National Treasury hasn't been concluded to support the deactivation. Gauteng had already said it will take on about 12.9 billion rand towards the project over the longer term. And motorists have been assured time and time again that e-tolls will be scrapped only to be disappointed when each deadline passes. Now, the question is, could this be happening once again? Is this all deja vu? Let's speak to Outa CEO Wayne Duvenage. He's, of course, familiar with the situation, fighting off e-tolls for the longest time. Wayne, Happy New Year and good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. Now, let's talk about this because it really does feel like deja vu. Promises about the scrapping of e-tolls, missing of deadlines. Now a statement coming up from Gauteng saying there seems to be an agreement with Treasury that hasn't been concluded. What's really the story here?
Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, they've made the decision. The scheme is going to be scrapped. It has to be scrapped. And when that happened, when they made that announcement just after the midterm budget policy statement at the end of October, there were a lot of things that I don't think they'd prepared themselves for, which was, well, what is the actual date that the scheme will be turned off? And soon after that, they said it was going to be the 31st of December. Just give them some time to wrap up and make some final arrangements. Well, that day has come and gone. And as we've seen now, the Panyaza Lesufi, the Premier, has put out a statement saying, no, not the 31st, sometime soon in the new year. It has to be gazetted, obviously. And I think these are the finalities that they hadn't really thought about. Again, it needs to be gazetted. It's not something that is done at the provincial level, by the way. It's something that has to be done at national transport level, and SANRAL has to acknowledge this. And once that's done, then all those signs along the freeways have to come down. So it's quite a process, and I don't think they've really thought about it. So now they're waiting to gazette it. Once it's gazetted, then the formalities will happen. As far as we're concerned, anybody paying e-tolls today is wasting their money. They are not going to go after you if you don't pay. They can't. They haven't been able to for many years now. So really the scheme is dead. It is over. But for some reason, they will keep the cameras clicking away and billing those few people who want to carry on paying. Why they want to carry on paying, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I mean, Premier Panyaza Lesufi further wished, and I'm quoting him here, wishing to assure Gauteng residents that there is no turning back on doing away with e-tolls. And the reason I asked my first question about what really is the story here, Wayne, is because I think residents for the longest time have been hearing about promises. We see the timing with regards to the general elections next year, and there might be a sense of, could this be just so that, the timing of elections is right on time to make promises, but we might see this beyond 2025. So I guess my question again is the Premier to be trusted when he assures residents that this is over and done with, no turning back, of course, will happen with this? Can residents trust Panyaza Lesufi?
Yeah, I think they can from the point of view that the scheme is dead. It isn't going to be revived. They cannot revive it. So there is no turning back. There was no turning back since 2019 when SANRAL stopped summonsing people for non-payment. From that day onwards, it was doomed. And so the only thing left now is to gazette it, make it formal, and then start taking the signs down and repurpose the gantries and the cameras for other things which they've got plans for. So it is over, done and dusted. As far as we're concerned, it's now just dotting the I's and crossing the T's on some formalities. So yes, it's not going to come back. I don't think they'll kick that can down the road until the elections in 2024, some 18 months away. That would be crazy. I mean, it's just not going to take that long. So this is now waiting for the finalities, I think.
Yeah, you did advise residents not to pay for e-tolls right now because that would absolutely be a waste of money. For anyone being concerned with previous defaults on their payments, anything to worry about there as well, just for clarity?
No, not at all. They have been, up until recently, still sending out these final demand letters. Those are not legal letters. Those are not summonses. in the hope to get a few rands and cents into the system before it closes down. But as far as we're concerned, they've stopped summonsing. And if they do summons anybody for outstanding payments, Outa has been very involved in defending those summonses on behalf of the public. And we believe that there's no case for them anymore. So quite frankly, don't worry about it. If you have got outstanding bills, they cannot come after you. There's no blacklisting. There is no credit score rating issues. There's no, threats of driver's license and vehicle licenses being put on hold. None of that will come into play. It's just now the scheme is dead, and they need to gazette it.
Wayne Duvenage, we ended there. Thank you so much for talking to us, giving us this clarity. Outa's Wayne Duvenage this morning, of course, saying that absolutely no need to pay for any e-tolls, irrespective of any demands that you may receive right now. You've received previously. The scheme is dead. It's a matter of time now. We're waiting for that gazette to be, of course, commissioned. And then 14 days later, we understand that the scheme would be in writing officially dead. Premier Panyaza Lesufi further saying that there's no turning back, given that assurance to Gauteng.